Hey, it's Allie Edwards, and welcome to another episode of Craft the Story. Today I am doing a super simple layout for you using one of the 7 by 8 1/4 pattern papers from the Hexagon Scrapbook Kit. Now, for those of you guys that have been around for a while, you know that we are offering these quarterly scrapbook kits that include pattern papers like this one right here, which is essentially a guide or a already created foundation to help you get more of your stories told. What I love about this is that this page right here, or this single piece of pattern paper, can be as simple as this, right? You can literally write, this says story number 1, story number 2, story number 3. You can literally write 3 different stories in there about whatever you want, or you can take this as your base and you can build up on top of it. You could do a whole bunch of stamping, you could create a border, you could cut these out, they could be windows. There's a million other things that you could, maybe not a million, there's a lot of other things that you could do with a page like this, but I'm going to use it in the super simple way that I initially designed it, as a foundation to hold 3 different stories. I'm pairing that with a full page photo. This is the outside of our house here at probably the beginning of September. I really enjoy taking pictures of my house at night, especially when all of the rooms are lit up from the inside and you have that kind of amazing glow that comes in. A couple other things about this photo that I really like, and a part of the reason why I chose to print it out and why I'm going to tell a story about it, is we've got the very pink lights up here. This is in the girls' room. They've got those crazy colorful lights in there that I can barely stand in the room. It's too much for me, but seeing it from the outside is really cool. I also like that you can see, here's Isaac inside and he's talking to Aaron. The quality of the light is really cool. Being able to kind of peek inside the house in a way that you can't always do during the day. It's not the same kind of thing. I also like that it's very much the end of fall here. So I can see a few of the plants there, tomatoes that are about done. Those kinds of things just within the setup of our backyard. So I think that probably what I'm going to do on this page, or the story that I'm going to tell here, is a page about gratitude. And gratitude is a story lens that I come back to again and again. I could almost probably tell every single story that I tell from the lens of gratitude. That is simply a way that I approach storytelling in my own life during the times when things have been really hard, and when the times that there has been more ease in my life. In both of those times, I lean towards gratitude. What can I be thankful for right now? What can I appreciate in a way that maybe I'm not appreciating it enough? Those kinds of things. So with these ones, I always like to start with punching holes, because that way I know exactly where the holes are. So I'm going to lay those 2 on top of each other. I grabbed a pattern or a page protector page here, and then I'm using the 6-hole punch to simply punch the holes in my pages so that I make sure I know where they are before I start working on the page. In the case of this one, because it's such a simple layout, it's not gonna, I'm not gonna have a lot of stuff coming over the top, but I think it's just a good practice to get in the habit of doing that regularly. A couple things that a couple things that might come up here. This is pages that will fit inside a 6 by 8 album. All right, I went and grabbed, this is one of the albums that I'm using. This just says 2021. This is one of the linen covered ones that we have in the shop. I believe that these are still available, like the gray linen. And I was just going to show you a couple of the pages that I have in here. These are from projects that I've done, story kit, content, that sort of thing, and you can see a few of the things that I have in here. Here's a picture of my house growing up. These ones are all outside, or many of them are going to be outside of the page protector. Some of these, again, that's from the Laugh story kit. This is from the ampersand, but I just want you to get an idea of seeing what is happening in my 6 by 8 albums. Again, most of these projects being ones that I did for story kits. And so we have story kits that you can subscribe to, and each month I do content in there that usually includes 3 projects. So that's what you're seeing here. My plan is that I will go in and I will adhere these back to back. So it will actually end up being where you turn the page, but I leave them out or let's see, what, I don't even know what to say, unadhered, just usually while I'm putting them together throughout the course of the year. Here's a good example too of one where I did this project using the Laugh Story Kit, and then this part was blank. So then when I came to the Teach Story Kit, I came to my album, went ahead, used this as the jumping off point, knowing that I could pair that with a full page photo. Let's see, what else do I have here? Here's one that I just did for the Care Story Kit. I think that's probably what these other ones are here as well. So a couple of those, but mainly I just wanted you guys to see what, where is this project going to go that I'm working on right now? And it'll go into this 2021 album that I am keeping with kind of general stories about our family this year. All right. Now, knowing that I want to focus kind of on the theme of gratitude, I feel like with this page right here, it's really easy. I could do like 3 things right now, 3 things I'm thankful for, 3 things I'm loving, right? Those are some of the common story lenses that I use as jumping off points, and those are something that are always available to us. This could be paired with a collage of photos. You could pair this with a page protector where you're adding in 2 photos, 2 current photos. Lots and lots of options where it can be really simple, right? It can be crafty when we want it to be crafty, and it can be simple when we want it to be simple. So for this one, I pulled out my September Stories by the Month kit. These ones have, cards and embellishments, and I'm thinking there were a couple different things. One was this one had around here that were these fun little stitched fabric pieces. So this is something, if I wanted to add an embellishment, I could easily, I will use those. I think I could use those. So each one could go kind of above or below the line there. And I was going to see if there was another one. Hello September. I could stamp Hello September with each of these 2. Kind of thinking like, where would I want to stamp those? It makes sense on this one. Or maybe Hello September or this story. I kind of like, that might be fun to add off there. I was just, the right now, I'm kind of looking for a gratitude stamp, and I think that's probably what I'll do is look back through my my stamp sets and see what I can find, where I can find a gratitude one. I was just going to go through the cards here just to see sticker wise, like this is something that could go on top, or maybe this guy right on top of here as a title. That's something that I have done in the past. I could also use these chipboard pieces. Maybe something like this that would just go along with just a little bit of something, right? Like it doesn't have to be this whole other big thing. That looks cute like that. Okay, I'm planning again that I'm just going to be writing, right? I'm just going to be doing my journaling in there. All right, I want to look and see if I can find a stamp that I could stamp at the top. Do I have a small gratitude stamp? I do have around here, so obviously that would work, but like a gratitude or a thankful or a right now, that's what I'm going to look for up there. And then I'm thinking that I will probably use this as a title on here to hold some sort of a title. So I'm going to be looking at my stamps as well. Actually, I wonder if this right now, that one, that would work. That would totally work. So let's use that because I like using the things that are from this one. So if I do right now on there, I'm going to use Stays On, and I'm going to stamp directly on here. All right, that looks good. And then I think that I can stamp that Hello September could go right below because, even if it's later in the month, it's still, I love that right now stamp. That one was fun. Oh, I could do, I'm just going to do it in black. I'm like, I could do it in a different color, but what I'm thinking is that it could be tucked right in, like, yeah. Ooh, that looks good. Fun. Okay, and so when I add something like that on, I often like to use some foam adhesive that just lifts it a little bit up off the back. Yeah, cool. Okay. So I will put, what I often do too is I do the foam adhesive on the back like this, and I leave the sticky part on there in case I want to move it around. So it's one of the last things I do is actually adhere it down on there. So let's just see. So I think what I'm going to do now is come over here and, oh yeah, I'm still going to look for a gratitude stamp. Let me see if I can find that. Okay, so as I was going through my stamps, I remembered that I do have these 2 rolling stamps. One of them has a bunch of ing words on it, which is something that I could put on here, like, you know, loving, or there's currently. There's also around here, which would be the same. I could use the ing words like what are we eating, watching, you know, those sorts of things. But I could also use one on this one. I couldn't remember if this one had gratitude or thankful. It doesn't, but it does have the story, and that would work as a little title. There's also another one here that has the days of the week. I'm not sure which one of these are all still available. I'll have to look on there and look on the site and see. But let's do the one, I'm going to use the one that just says the story, because that will make sense. And I can still have my lens be gratitude. All right, so that is leaving me a wonderful little spot here for telling 3 stories of right now. One of the things that I like about this is these are some of these are the kind of stories that I would have been telling if I was still doing Project Life, right, weekly or monthly. But in this case, I can just kind of think a little bit about, okay, what is happening around here right now? What are the things that I actually want to document that are sticking out to me today, right? It doesn't mean that it has to be the be-all end-all story of our September. It's just like, what are the things as I look at this photo, or what are the things that are coming up for me in our life right now. That's essentially what I'm going to document here. The other thing that I'm going to do before I start writing is I do want to put a date on here, just an actual date. I like to add the date when I'm doing the documenting, and I think I'm just going to stamp it right over here, right on the photo. It'll be down in there, so at least then I'll know when I flip through there. It'll be in the 2021 album. But all right, so now I'm going to identify 3 stories that I want to tell. It can be things about gratitude. It can just be about I'm going to write something about love looking in the outside of the house, right? right, so there you go. A quick and simple page that I am going to add right into my 2021 album here. Just find a spot and slip that in and call it good. So lots of opportunities to focus on a few fun and simple stories to add into your memory keeping albums. All right, we'll see you guys back here again next week.